plastic plates in our holiday parties? What happened to our china? What happened to our utensils? Nobody is using anymore their everything. And personally, I don't even serve plastics on my patio parties. So maybe we should start, that kind of initiatives. Don't use plastics just for the sake of food waste, clean food waste generation. Sorry, I spoke too much.
Yeah, I know each restaurant has their own business model. I do want to give a shout out to Jam and Crepes. I think Kathy's in attendance. If you've ever been to their brick and mortar store, they do a really good job of promoting reusable silverware and having limited items where it can either just be composted, landfill, or recyclable, and they have very clear signs. And they also have a lid. I believe is it over the landfill or the right? Yeah. And so that makes people more conscious about where to store the materials and to think about how they can repurpose or recycle it before sending it to the landfill. I guess I would encourage restaurants are going to use some type of container or serving plates to just stick with pure paper, because that can be composted. And I remember, when I was girl, I remember it was very simple. Like there's this like a paper plate. Now they expand all these fancy designs and plastic, and but whenever possible to be able to promote reusability. And in terms of takeout containers, I don't know if this is more on legislation, but if possible, I've been to other places where they charge like 50% extra for an environmental surcharge to take out a to-go container. And I've seen there's also momentum for accepting consumers' own reusable container when they come to pick up takeout. So there's a lot of different solutions that are out there, and again, it's not a silver bullet. It's going to be a range.
Questions from the audience? Josh.
I have two quick questions. First, for Gina, how do you ensure that the wood shavings that you're inserting into the process aren't treated or carrying fetal formaldehydes? A lot of wood products on the market now, people are trying to produce them. They're just in the product. Often you don't know.
Places that we've gotten it from are from trees that have been recently cut down, and they're from the planers. So it's pretty much like freshly cut wood.
And Scott, I'm curious. I know that when I was growing up on the residential side, everyone had disposals. Now, municipalities, including Princeton, don't permit residential disposals. It seems to me that if the goal is to reduce food waste in the landfill, disposals would be a reasonable solution. Maybe not the final solution, but a reasonable solution to reduce the food waste in the landfills.
Yeah, and the best would be that food waste wasn't generated in the first place, right? That's our first objective. So maybe it's down the line it's a solution, but the legislation we're pursuing is forcing us to look back at the supply chain and say, how did that food get to the point where nobody was getting it, and how can we reduce that? That's where we're at right now with legislation.
Molly?
Yeah, I wanted to ask for clarification. The last slide, I think, Gina, one of the last slides where we were talking about acceptable items for the digester, there was a square, maybe it's for you, Nick, BPI certified clamshells, plates, and bowls. BPI certifies PLA plastics and paper items. So to define BPI certified and then say PLA wax line, which are two different things, in the no category, there's a little confusion to me on that screen about exactly what we're talking about. So I just wanted to point that out. BPI certifies plant-based plastics as well as papers. That's the Biodegradable Products Institute. And so I thought maybe we need to clarify that.
so as you're right, BPI certified means that the product can be broken down in a full-scale commercial facility, which is not what our digester is. So we're just trying to put it in terms of what the very well-known certification is in terms of like dinnerware. Dr. Nick found that anything that was certified as BPI and fell into one of those item classifications could be composted or broken down inside of his system. And then I was just breaking it down in terms of like basic items, so paper, just saying that it has 10% PLA. It could be BPI certified, it couldn't, but that's just the kind of the threshold. Does that answer your question?
No, but I can ask you more later.
Okay.
I think that it points out an interesting point. We often get the question, is this compostable? And that's not actually the question to ask. It's, will this piece of material, if it goes to the composting facility, will it be composted? And that answer is hard to give because the products out there and the solutions out there are varied. And so it's very hard to come up with very clear-cut answers to that question, is this compostable? Because it is very dependent upon other factors. Other questions? Steve?
Question for Gina. I saw in that one photo you had the food waste with the contaminants in it, the soda cup and some other stuff. Is someone on some custodial staff going in there pulling that stuff out?
So, yeah, I guess I forgot to mention, even though FIRST has introduced that bin, it's kind of been like a testing phase, and because it's been so contaminated though, that even though the composter won't accept it. So we are going to be testing solutions now with the use of lids and trying to get other students and researchers to use some more behavioral science techniques and other infrastructure to try to clean that stream so that it can be composted. But no, not at that point.
Yes.
I just curious, can you compost like 100% cotton, like cotton rags, cleaning things? If you had green solution, like more
It depends on where it goes, right? And will it get sorted out? So that's another challenge I think Leo just mentioned is when it goes into that stream and it gets its way to whatever the facility is where it's going to be composted, will it get sorted out? Because if it's a human being who's got to eyeball it, how do they know? So there's challenges along the way from putting it in the bin to getting it to the facility. So the question, is it compostable? Probably in the right place. Will it get composted? Is a harder
I
question.
think my question is, a lot of times in restaurants you have towels that are not white anymore, they're dirty. Like, where do those towels go? Do they go to the landfill? Or aprons that are kind of stained? And a lot of it's cotton.
Steve, do you want to?
There's textile recycling is a well-established industry. And it's not just clothes, sheets, towels, blankets. They can take anything. It's not clothes that can be reused. Rags and things can go for industrial wiping cloths and stuff like that. So
Around
it's
here?
yeah. So when you put stuff in those boxes, for clothes donations, you can put towels and sheets in there too. And if it's not being reused as clothes, it'll go for industrial purposes like wiping cloths and things like that.
So it doesn't go abroad, it really stays local?
Well, a lot of the clothes go abroad. But if it's something that's not reusable.
Take one more question, and then you can ask Gina more questions about the biodigester on the tour if you'd like. Yes, gentlemen, great.
Yeah, thank you for calling on me. This is a little bit different. I've been kind of following this area of green business for about 40 years, and I'm trying not to anymore, so this is maybe the last time I'm going to say something on this. I think there's been a lot of ups and downs over the decades. I think we're clearly in an up cycle, and there's been a lot of exciting things today. But I think we need to do even better. I was good news, bad news. The Circle got into some very serious problems that we're having as a society, and I think it's even worse. And typically those kind of things do not come up at these kind of green business things, and they need to. The complement of that is that there's some good news. We're just not taking advantage of it. There's more and more businesses that are actually stepping up and doing the right thing for the reasons that were cited earlier, but for a lot of new reasons, including perhaps they actually care about these things. I know you're running out of time.
Did you have a question?
Yes. My class last semester at Round Hill College, I'm an adjunct professor, we put together a comprehensive proposal to the governor for a deep green economy. The point is that the companies that we heard from earlier, particularly the tavern owner, this should be, in my view, this should be a vision for the way that all businesses in New Jersey do business. That's the nature of business going forward. And so I have a big report on that with many, many recommendations, and I'm proposing, among other things, that the office that we heard from this morning, the DEP, actually lead this effort. But it's going to require a lot of new thinking, and I have the report if anybody wants it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So with that, thank you to everyone for attending, and thank you to the University